On July 29th, Google launched a brand new AI music model called Lyria 3.5. I've already put it through a full run. One song costs 5 credits, it finished generating in under a minute, the track came out at 2 minutes 50, and you can export separated stems. In this video, I'm going to take you through the whole tool, from signing up to exporting your finished track, explain what every feature actually does, and finish with 3 things you need to know before you put any of this music on YouTube. Let's start with what Lyria 3.5 actually is. It's Google DeepMind's music generation model. You give it a text description, and it writes and performs a complete song for you. This release is the step up from Lyria 3. The official announcement lists 4 improvements: richer and more natural melodic structure, higher quality lyrics that follow your prompt more closely, more expressive vocals with better pronunciation, and easier control over tempo and duration. One thing worth flagging: that announcement doesn't mention pricing, maximum length, file formats, or licensing, so every specification number you hear in this video is something I measured myself, hands-on. Now, where do you actually use it? Right now there's exactly one place, and it's called Google Flow Music. The address is flowmusic.app, and it opens without any regional workaround in most places. Quick heads up though, Google has an older separate music tool called MusicFX, and that one is region locked in a lot of countries. If the tutorial you're following points you there and the page won't load, that's why. Once you're signed in, the left-hand panel gives you Songs, which is your library, playlists, spaces, music videos, projects, and one called Turntable. The place you actually create music is the box in the middle that says Ask Producer, and underneath that box there's a small settings button, which is where the most important controls are hiding. Open it and you'll see 3 rows. The first is Instrument, and this is where you pick the model. In that menu you'll find Lyria 3.5, labeled as the flagship model, and Lyria 3 Pro, which is now marked as a legacy model. The second row is Ghostwriter, which handles lyric writing. The third is Producer, where you choose between standard and fast thinking. So these 3 aren't 3 models, they're 3 roles working on different parts of your track. That trips a lot of people up. It's worth understanding that layout because it tells you what to change when something comes out wrong. If the arrangement or the instruments aren't what you wanted, that's the instrument slot. If the words are the problem, that's Ghostwriter. And if it's misunderstanding your overall request, that's the Producer. Most people just rewrite the whole prompt and hope. Knowing which slot owns which job saves you a lot of wasted credits. On the model choice itself, unless you have a specific reason to go back, stay on 3.5. Lyria 3 Pro is still selectable, but Google has explicitly marked it as Legacy, which tells you where the development effort is going from here. Now let's talk credits, because this is what everyone wants to know. When you sign up, Google gives you 500 credits as a one-time bonus, and then 30 credits every day after that. So how much does one song cost? I generated one and watched the balance. 5 credits, which means on a completely free account, you can make 6 full songs every single day. 2 things worth knowing about that. The daily 30 is the part you can rely on long term, so if you're building any kind of catalog, that's your real budget. The 500 is a one-time sign-up bonus, and once it's gone, so don't burn all of it in your first hour experimenting with prompts you're never going to use. Learn the tool on your daily allowance, and save the bonus for when you actually know what you're asking for. If you're already paying for Google AI Pro, pay attention to this next part. My account has Pro on it. But when I opened Flow Music, my plan was showing as free. Your subscription benefits don't apply automatically. You have to click the Grant Access button in the banner at the top of the screen yourself. The moment I did, my tier switched to Plus and 10,000 credits landed in the account. 10,000 credits works out to roughly 2,000 songs. So if you're paying for a subscription and you've never clicked that button, you've been running on the free allowance this whole time without realizing it. Let's actually make something. Here's my prompt. Generate a lo-fi hip-hop instrumental at 85 BPM for studying, warm Rhodes piano, soft dusty drums, vinyl crackle, mellow and calm, no vocals. Watch what happens when you send it. Before generating anything, it breaks your sentence down into a structured sound description and puts that in the sound field. It also names the track for you automatically. And that sound field is editable. There's a small pencil icon next to it. That's genuinely useful because you can see exactly how the model interpreted you before it commits, and correct it there instead of arguing with it in the chat afterwards. If it drops something you cared about, that's where you put it back. The whole thing took under a minute. The finished track came out at 2 minutes 58, and the 85 BPM I asked for genuinely made it into the music. Everything I've generated has landed between 250 and just over 3 minutes, so that's roughly where the ceiling sits. Here's a prompt writing tip while we're here. Separate your instruments, your mood, and your tempo instead of stacking adjectives. 3 or 4 concrete sound words, the way I did there, lands far more accurately than one long flowery sentence describing a vibe. Once it's done, you get 3 follow-up shortcuts. Add raining sound, add soulful lyrics, make it slower. You're not retyping a huge prompt every time you want one small change, and honestly, that's the smoothest part of the whole experience. That matters more than it sounds. Most AI music tools make you regenerate the entire track from scratch to change one element, and you burn credits every time. Being able to nudge a track you already like in plain English is the difference between a toy and something you can actually work with. The editing goes further than that. According to Google's own documentation, you can highlight any section of a song and rewrite just those lyrics, translate them into another language, swap out an instrument, or restyle the beat in that section without disturbing the rest of the track. In the More Options menu next to each song, you'll also find Remix, for extending or reworking a track, details for the full breakdown, and a separate split stems function that pulls the song apart into individual layers. Stems are more useful than people realize. You can keep just the drums and bass as a background bed, drop the lead line and replace it with your own, or fade individual layers in and out to keep a long mix from feeling repetitive. If you're building anything longer than a few minutes, that's the feature you'll end up living in. For export, you get 3 audio formats: M4A, MP3, and WAV. You can also grab the separated stems or have it render the track out as a video file. Take the WAV if you plan to do any further processing yourself because you don't want to stack compression on top of compression. Now the settings page, and this is the part I most want you to see. Scroll down and there's a privacy option called Help Improve Google Flow Music. The description reads, "Allow your content to be used to improve Google Flow Music," and that switch is turned on by default. So unless you go in and turn it off, every track you make is feeding back into improving the model. I'm not telling you that you have to switch it off, that's genuinely your call, but it being on by default is something you should know about on day 1, not discover 6 months in. On the same page, there's another toggle called Visible Watermarking, and that one is off by default. Read the description carefully though, because it says the watermark is added to images and videos, not to audio. For audio, Google uses a separate technology called SynthID. You can't hear it and you can't switch it off. According to YouTube's own documentation though, that doesn't affect your ability to monetize. Let's talk licensing. I clicked the Terms of Service link inside Flow Music, and it takes you straight to Google's General Terms of Service. This product doesn't currently have its own standalone licensing document. The one relevant line in there says that Google won't claim ownership of the content you generate. It's worth separating 3 things here. Google not claiming ownership isn't the same as you automatically holding a full copyright, and neither of those is a guarantee that no dispute will ever come up later. If you're putting this music on YouTube, there are 3 things to know first. Number 1, AI-generated music is on the list of things you're required to disclose. When you upload, just tick the box honestly and move on. Number 2, a lot of people think an AI label means you can't earn. That's a misunderstanding. YouTube states explicitly that the label won't limit a video's audience or affect its eligibility to earn money. What does affect monetization is mass-produced templated content with no original value, and that gets assessed at the channel level. Number 3 is Content ID. Purely AI-generated music doesn't carry exclusive rights, so you can't register it yourself, but someone else could register something similar and file a claim against your video. If you ever receive one, you have 5 days to dispute it. Miss that window and the revenue is gone for good. And one last piece of advice, which is honestly the most important one. Download and back up your files the same day you generate them. There's precedent in this industry for a platform switching off downloads overnight, leaving people unable to retrieve work they'd already made. Terms can change at any time. The file sitting on your own drive is the part you actually control. And when you back up, save more than just the audio. Keep the WAV, keep the stems if you pulled them, and keep the prompt text that produced it. The prompt is the part everybody throws away, and it's the part you'll want 6 months from now when you're trying to make 20 more tracks that sound like they belong on the same record. Lyria 3.5 has only just launched and features are still rolling out. If this was useful, hit subscribe. In the next video, I'm building a complete long-form upload with it, from stitching the tracks together all the way through to the final render. See you in the next one.